Welcome to Phantom Cobweb Studio.
On a violently stormy night, a vintage car's headlights cut through the torrential rain of rural Bengal. Inside is Tapan Babu, a newly transferred subdivisional magistrate, a senior government administrative official, arriving from the city with his family to an isolated riverside bungalow. This family comes from a world of concrete and logic. They are educated, exhausted from the journey, and expect this posting to operate by the same strict, predictable rules they've always known. But their caretaker, an older man named Bhuvan, behaves erratically. Even in the heavy storm, he flatly refuses to ride in their car along the fast paved road next to the river. Instead, he chooses to walk alone down a miserable, muddy back road. The family views this as superstitious nonsense. Out here, however, urban logic quickly breaks down. The unwritten laws of rural geography demand obedience, and Bhuvan is following a strict survival rule the city dwellers don't even realize exists. The reality of those rules surfaces the very next morning. Leading directly from the river's edge, straight up to the doors of the bungalow, are deep, muddy footprints. And the anatomy of these prints is entirely wrong. The heels strike at the front, and the toes point backward. In Indian folklore, this is the terrifying, undeniable physical signature of an unnatural entity. Seeing the muddy tracks, Bhuvan issues a stark, urgent warning to the family: stay completely away from the water's edge. A modern mind cannot easily process backward footprints. The family dismisses the physical evidence as a local prank. That dismissal creates a dangerous blind spot, leaving a perfect opening for the ancient folklore to take hold. That opening is exploited by the eldest daughter, 16-year-old Sugandha. Ignoring Bhuvan's warning, she heads out, driven by a simple craving for her regional dish, machi bhat, a traditional meal of fish and rice. Down by the water, she crosses paths with an alluring, mysterious girl. The stranger asks her for fish, flashes a cold smile, and then simply vanishes into the humid air. What Sugandha encountered was a mecho bhoot, a specific type of spirit in Bengali mythology, characterized by an insatiable hunger for fish. A mecho bhoot does not attack blindly. It probes, tests boundaries, and patiently lures its prey. When you step past the geographic limits set by the locals, a mundane action, like wanting a fish dinner, transforms into an open invitation for a predator. Completely unaware that she has been marked, Sugandha journeys to the bustling local market. She buys her raw fish, holding the exact bait the entity desires. As she walks back at dusk, the environment abruptly shifts. The normal, damp scent of the forest is entirely replaced by the overwhelming, suffocating stench of rotting fish. Then comes the sound. A disembodied, aggressive voice echoes through the trees, directly demanding the catch she carries in her hands. Panic sets in. Sugandha sprints wildly toward the bungalow, chased by an unseen, relentless force that seems to manipulate the very woods around her. The sensory assault of the rot and the voices isolates her long before she reaches the house. By the time she reaches the door, the familiar geography has dissolved, leaving her trapped in a private landscape of terror where logic no longer applies. She finally reaches the heavy wooden doors of the bungalow, locks them tight, and collapses. She believes the thick, physical walls have kept her safe. But late that night, her mother hears wet, tearing sounds. She walks into the kitchen to find Sugandha crouched in the shadows. Sugandha is smeared in blood, viciously tearing into the raw, uncooked fish with her bare hands. Looking up with dead eyes, she declares she now belongs to the spirit. In this tradition, the penalty for the fines is the erasure of the self. The spirit occupies the victim, replacing their human identity with its own primal, fish-eating hunger. But why does this specific story exist? What actual purpose does a monster obsessed with raw fish serve in the rural villages of Bengal? This map shows the region's complex river systems. In an area defined by unpredictable waterways and nocturnal predators, communities needed to stop people wandering near the water. Fear is a deterrent. The ghost story acts as a psychological wall, keeping people from physical danger. There is also a hard ecological warning embedded here. The river provides food, But taking that bounty without respecting the timing and boundaries of the natural environment invites disaster. The Metro Boot serves as a psychological gatekeeper. These stories tether the community to the safety of the firelight, using a deep-seated fear of the dark to manage the very real risks found at the water's edge.
Like, comment, and subscribe if you dare.